This is April.
Okay.
And this is Tamara.
Hello.
And Tamara, as I understand it, you were there the night that this, or the afternoon that this happened. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And so, as I understand it, you and Mama and Tamara went to the hospital, went to the
Yes.
emergency room
Yes.
to get treatment. You had suffered from sciatica,
Yes.
had back issues. Call the off-duty nurse.
Mm-hmm.
She said, go to the ER, tell them what's going on, and they'll get you some
Just get
pain.
evaluated. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So was it your intent to go to the emergency room to get some pain medication, or was it something going on that you felt like needed to be treated and you went there for that purpose?
Call for pain medication or
Okay.
something. You know, just to.
Were you out of your pain medication, or was it just not working?
I don't think it was working.
Okay. So you had more pronounced pain.
Yes.
Okay. So what time of day did y'all go?
It had to be when she got out of school, so it had to be around.
About what time do you think, Tamara?
Oh, 4 o'clock. I got out at 3:40.
Okay.
So it had to be
So
around like 4-5 o'clockish.
okay. And you were not one to drive before that.
No, I never drove. I've never. No, I've driven before, but not legal.
tell me
makes
a
sense.
little bit about that. Why did you decide to not ever get a driver's license? Because you're like 43 years old, as I recall.
Well, I could have had it, but due to the circumstances of not having insurance, my dad preferred me to get a learner's permit.
Mm-hmm.
I passed the driver's test and everything, but unfortunately, that's what happened.
So how you been getting around for the last 30 years?
Parents,
Parents? Okay.
sad to say, yeah.
Is your father still living?
My dad passed away 4 months ago.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. But your mother's still living?
Yes,
Okay. And she lives here as well?
yes.
Okay. So anyway, you were going to the ER, and you got there. Now, tell me if I've recollected anything wrong. You told me that you got things straight around here, took a shower, bath, whatever, and
Yes.
and then your mom came, and you and this young lady took off and went to the ER. But it
Yes.
wasn't like an emergency. You were just going down there to.
Yes.
Okay. You got to the ER, and tell me what happened then.
They checked me in. I told them that I was having pain
Mm-hmm.
in my lumbar
Okay.
area,
Right.
and I told them it felt like a bulging, like
Oh.
most of the time sciatica does.
Right.
And so I told them, I said it just felt funny, like up and down my lumbar.
Mhm.
Just didn't feel.
Didn't feel normal.
Yeah. So they told me just get evaluated. So that's what I done.
Okay.
And then that's when they took me to a room in the back.
Now, when you say get evaluated, that's where they took you in the back to evaluate you.
Yes.
Let me back up 1 minute. Y'all, you all parked, and then you had a cane because of a prior.
Well, no, I had a crutch because I
You
had
had a
sprained
crutch.
my ankle maybe a week or so prior.
Okay, so you had a sprained ankle.
Yeah, remember
So-
I went to the Clements. Remember, baby, the Clements urgent care,
Yeah.
and I had a knee thing, and I had a thing, a foot thing. But
Okay.
I mainly had my knee thing on. I didn't have
Okay.
the foot thing on.
Okay,
But I came in there with the crutch
but that
for
was from.
stability as well.
Okay, and they were aware that you had prior problems that.
I told them, but they still made it seem like I came in there wobbling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
from back.
I got you.
Yeah.
And so they sent you in the back to get evaluation. What happened back there?
The man came back there in the room, and he asked me what was going on. I told him, and he said something about going for an MRI. They had ordered an MRI,
Mm-hmm.
and so I said, okay. We stood back there for a while. It was a minute, and then they finally took me up to. They said since we was in a small, clamped up room, they took me to a day hospital room,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's when they took me for the MRI.
Now, Tamara, you stayed behind when they took her over there. Is that right?
So I stayed in the room.
You
when they took
stayed-
her to the MRI.
You stayed. Say it again.
I stayed in the room, the day hospital room, when they took her to the MRI.
Okay, so you went with her to the day hospital, and they rolled her down to
The
do the
MRI.
MRI. Okay, all right. And then what happened, April?
I told them I was having anxiety, so they had to order some medicine, to, because I don't like going inside the MRI, so
Right.
that took a minute.
Right.
And then once they done that, they brought me back to the room. But the thing about it, they never told me anything about what they found or anything. And so I know they gave me something for pain.
That's one of the things I want to talk about. Do you remember where in the process they gave her the pain medication, Tamara?
I want to say they gave her Dilaudid before she went to the MRI.
Okay.
So when she came back, she was like
A little loopy.
cautious but loopy because Dilaudid is strong.
Yeah.
Yes,
And so they gave you the Dilaudid before you went to get the MRI. Is that your recollection?
yes.
That's the way you recall it.
I guess so much happened from back
Okay.
then, but yeah, it's kind of close to it.
Okay, so they gave you something for anxiety and they gave you Dilaudid for pain,
Mhm.
and then rolled you to the MRI and
Yes.
you went through that.
Yes.
Okay, and then they presumably brought you back to the room.
Mhm.
Okay. Did anybody ever give you what they would refer to as a neurological exam?
I don't recall one.
Do you recall them doing anything?
No, I recall like after they brought her back from MRI, it was like so much like the time like it was like I would say about 6 o'clock
Mm-hmm.
when it happened, and they came back in like the middle of the night, so I ended up falling asleep.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't recall anything. The only thing I recall is them coming in the room and telling her she was still on her medication, which is Dilaudid, and they told her that we're getting you ready for surgery. So they came in there and marked her back. Well, doctor came in there and marked her back, and then they walked out. So that's the only thing I remember.
Do you don't recall any kind of them giving her any kind of neurological exam where they would ask her to wiggle her toes or to tap her on the knee with the little rubber mallet? Do you remember anything like? Mm-hmm.
I remember them doing a reflex thing,
Okay, they did a reflex
Yeah.
test. Okay,
and that's about it.
but you don't remember any situation where any kind of more.
In depth. Mm-mm.
Okay, no poking,
No.
prodding, none of that.
I would have remembered that part.
That's not something we
remember
easily
that
forget. Okay, and
I'm
so
serious. I would remember that part.
all right, so they came and marked you back. And this was about 6 o'clock. Tamara, you think?
Oh no! When they brought her back, it was 6 o'clock in the evening. But when they marked her back, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
And the room was still dark, and the doctor only cut on the lights over the bed.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, "Who is that?" I thought we were gonna go home, but he was like, "We're getting you ready for surgery," and she was like really drowsy. So,
Mhm.
and then after she was like, "What just happened?" And I told her that they said that you're gonna get ready for surgery. So she ended up calling my aunt, which is her sister,
Mm-hmm.
and then they told her that we're gonna move you over to, I think it was Reynolds Tower, and we'll get you ready for an X-ray. It's like an hour for like the transporter people to come.
Now this was all at like 2 in the morning,
In the middle of the night.
in the middle of the night.
And then they told, like, we was in Reynolds to like, well, we got at Reynolds like at 3 or 4, and then like at 7 o'clock in the morning, they was like, oh, we're gonna take her for an X-ray and bring her back.
Mhm.
So it was 7, it was going on 8, and then almost 9 o'clock, and then a nurse came to the room saying, okay, well, we're gonna take you down to the surgery prep, the pre-op, and we'll take you to see your mom. And I thought y'all said y'all was bringing her back, and they was like, well, she's getting ready for surgery.
Mhm.
So they went from there.
Do you remember them bringing in anything for her to sign, what they call an informed consent?
No, they just said that she was going to her X-ray, and they were gonna bring her back, and they're gonna have somebody come talk to her about the surgery.
Mm-hmm.
And she thought she was gonna come back because she, like, when they told me that they were going to the pre-op room, like all her personal stuff was in there.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know we weren't coming back to the room.
Mm-hmm.
And then after, I had to wait for my aunt and my grandparents to get to the hospital because they had to have talk to my sister before they took her.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I went back to Reynolds, they ended up giving her room to somebody else. So all our personal stuff was out.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was just like, it was unprofessional because like she didn't sign any papers, and they didn't wait for somebody to come there
Mm-hmm.
to like say, okay, this is that. So it was just like, it was all rushed in the end.
Did they come, April, did they come, she said somebody was going to come talk to you before the surgery. Do you remember that happening?
No, the surgeon, after I had my X-rays, Dr. O'Gara came in the X-ray room because, like I said, in my mind, I'm going back to my room, you know.
Right.
And Dr. O'Gara came into the X-ray room and said, "Well, we're going to have surgery. you're gonna have surgery. I said, well, what? I said, no, my baby's upstairs. You know, I don't, want to go up. I want to wait till my family get here. That's
Sure.
the number one thing I kept saying.
Right.
I said, first of all, my child up there, then I have my parents. Nobody's here to,
Look after stuff.
Yeah. So they said, well, they gave me their hospital phone
Mm-hmm.
to call my family,
Mm-hmm.
to call my child upstairs, to tell, let them know that she needs to come, come downstairs or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him, I said, well, what did the MRI say? Y'all didn't tell me nothing. I said, y'all ready to cut on me? I don't know what y'all getting ready to do.
Right.
And he said, well, if you don't have it now, if you don't have it right now, your time going to be pushed back.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing he kept wondering about is the time going to be pushed back. At that time, I felt pressured. I wasn't thinking. I was like, pushed back. I said, something wrong, this and other. But he claimed after the surgery, he explained everything, but that's a total fake. That's a lie. Because had he done it, I wouldn't be like, surprised, or my story would never change.
Right.
And I kept asking him, I said, why you didn't explain what you're going to do, what I'm going to be prepared for? What did you see?
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So-
Never showed you an X-ray and said this
No,
is...
he never showed me anything at the pre-op room.
Okay.
He never showed me anything. All he kept saying is, we got to go ahead and have surgery. If we don't, your time will be pushed back.
He didn't say anything to you about you've got any